So may I come in?
Yes, please come.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir.
Vikas, please come.
Thank you, sir.
Vikas, tell us briefly about yourself.
Yes, sir. Sir, I am Vikas Mahto. I belong to Saraikela Khasawa district of Jharkhand. My primary schooling has been from there itself. After that, I did BTech in Mechanical Engineering from MNNIT Allahabad. Post that, I worked as a quality engineer in Larsen and Toubro for 2 years, sir. After that, I resigned and have been preparing for civil services. In the last attempt, I got the Indian Revenue Services income tax.
Vikas, your DAF and the extracurricular hobbies are loaded with cricket.
Yes.
Everywhere I find cricket.
Yes, sir.
So how passionate you are?
Sir, it's
Active cricket or you just watch cricket?
No, sir. I play cricket.
So you're a batter or a bowler or what?
So primarily, I'm a batter, sir, but I bowl a little bit also.
You've been captain also?
No, sir. I'm not been captain.
Okay. So as a team member, what have you learned, in the game of cricket, which you may have imbibed or you would like to use it, in civil services if you become the district collector of a district?
Yes, sir. Since cricket is a team game, sir, I have learned that it's important that we have man management skills. That is to manage the various egos of various stakeholders and to perform as a team. Also, sir, the fact that the individual personas are very different. Same goes with administration also. If one has to lead and one has to work as a team, sir, the different personas have to be managed well so that the common goal is approached rather than in the individual bickering of various individuals.
So Vikas, now you're already in revenue service.
Yes, sir.
And probably your services that you are looking for must be the IAS and the IFS and the IPS only.
Yes.
So what value addition you think will it make in you if you get into these services?
Yes, sir. Sir, it's a privilege and an honor to be part of the revenue services, sir. I'm really happy. But since the Indian administrative services as such provide a huge diversity of opportunities, and it is also associated with the rural and the semi-urban areas primarily, the Indian administrative services in the initial years is associated with these areas, and my life also has been substantially been in these areas, sir. So perhaps my sensibilities are more attached to these areas and I will be more invested in the issues of these areas.
Because our Prime Minister has gone to Europe.
Yes, sir.
Now, in terms of the urgency that seems to be, in touching Europe.
Yes, sir.
Do you think what are the hidden agenda of the Prime Minister going to Europe at this point in time?
Yes, sir. Sir, one is the fact that the Russia-Ukraine crisis has shown that we cannot be very dependent on few countries as far as trade is concerned. We share this with the fate of Germany also, which is highly dependent on Russia for its fuel and gas imports, and we are dependent on Russia for defense imports. So it's a mutual challenge that we have, and perhaps we would like to share notes on how to diversify our foreign exports and foreign imports. Apart from that, sir, in the Nordic countries such as Denmark, it is largely about climate change and cooperation in mineral resource exploration in the Arctic, because since the Arctic area is melting and there are trade routes are opening up. With France, sir, we have had historic ties as far as defense equipment is concerned, as well as France has shown some interest in the Indo-Pacific as well, sir. So in these areas we look for cooperations.
Thank you, Vikas. I pass on to
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Well, because why Panchayat Raj institutions took so much of time to ground in.
Yes.
Yes. First elections were held after 10 years of.
Yes, sir.
The state came into existence.
Yes, sir. Sir, it has been seen that often the state governments are reluctant to give power to the panchayat, devolve power to the panchayat, sir. because because they see it as a threat, and as loss of some powers as far as the state government is concerned. We also see that even after having given the devolved some powers to PRI, we see that parastatal bodies of the state government still hold considerable powers there, sir. So perhaps this is the issue that stunts the growth of power devolution to the PRIs.
Okay. Can the lower level of development of Jharkhand
Yes, sir.
be attributed to this condition of PRI there?
Yes, sir. To a large extent, it can be attributed, because if we contrast it with the fate of Kerala, sir, there the Panchayati Raj institutions are, as well as Tamil Nadu, sir, they are highly developed, and they they ensure accountability of not only the executive but also they also contribute towards the executive's working, as well as ensure accountability. So, sir, perhaps due to lack of accountability by PRIs has perhaps caused the issue in Jharkhand.
Okay. Now there has been a 47% jump in direct tax collection this year
Yes, sir.
as compared to last year. So
Yes.
what could be the reason for that huge jump?
Yes, sir. Sir, Mr. J.B. Mahapatra, who was the ex-director of CBDT, he said that there have been increased compliances due to the improved and new schemes in the direct tax regime, such as the faceless assessment has been introduced, sir. The faceless assessment, which improves the compliance and reduces the discretion of the tax authorities. Also, sir, because of increase in trade and the economy bouncing back, as well as taxes on the excise duties on various objects, sir, perhaps this has caused the increase in direct tax collection.
Okay, good. Now you see, when we talk of corruption in government, it's
Yes.
mainly in government contracts, government
Yes.
contracts.
Yes, sir.
How to check that?
Sir, one mechanism is that the audits can be I'm sorry, sir, the audits can be improved. In the recent parts, sir, DMFT funds misuse was brought out by CAG of Jharkhand, the central audit, the CAG of Jharkhand, sir. So perhaps these vigilance as well as the auditing can be there for corruption removal, as well as, sir, wherever there is accountability ensured by the civil society, the self-help groups, the Panchayati Raj and the local members, wherever accountability mechanisms are there, their corruption has been seen to be less, sir, like Tamil Nadu and Kerala. So these two.
Are you aware of GEM?
Yes, sir. Government e-man.
Has that been able to address this issue of corruption to some extent, in your opinion?
Yes, sir. In my opinion, it has led to a reduction in corruption.
Now, my last question, because you mentioned that you are very close to the ground level, you come from
Yes, sir.
that part of the
Yes.
countryside, and you would like to be associated with
Yes, sir.
rural and semi-urban people.
Yes, sir.
Can you name 3-4 rural development ministry schemes
Yes, sir.
which are under implementation?
Yes. So some of them are the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana has been there, sir, for the rural areas. Apart from that, sir, the Eklavya Model Residential Schools for tribal children. So the Gram Sadak Yojana has been there for connectivity of rural areas. So these are few that I can recall.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Vikas. What do you?
Mr. Vikas.
Yes, sir.
Vikas, you see, Jharkhand as a state,
Yes, sir.
it has still the left-wing extremism.
Yes, sir.
In order to fight the left-wing extremism,
Yes, sir.
suppose I suggest that we take the administration closer to the people
Yes, sir.
by taking the road transport inside, by making large scale investment in roads,
Yes,
making then improvement of health
yes, sir.
and improvement in education by investment.
Yes, sir.
Then what will be the impediments in case of Jharkhand?
Yes.
What will be the difficulty in translating this into action?
Yes. Sir, one of the major issues in this governance, to fill the governance vacuum, is that, sir, the terrains are really tough. Some of the tribes, such as the Sauriya Pahadiyas, the PVTGs particularly, sir, the particularly vulnerable tribal groups, inhabit areas which are highly forested or up the hills, such as the Sauriya Pahadiyas who live up the hills. So, sir, the background infrastructure to reach them is perhaps lacking in Jharkhand. Also, sir, Jharkhand has approximately 30% of its area under forest, and since we have our environmental conservation programs also, the forest clearances are a problem as far as infrastructure development is concerned. Also, sir, the government bodies and the government functionaries such as ASHA workers, ANMs, they are also not able to reach these populace due to lack of basic amenities.
So, do you think it is workable or it's not workable?
So, in my opinion, it is definitely workable, sir, and work has been going on, sir. Erstwhile, it was seen that when Jharkhand partitioned, sir, only 26% of Jharkhand had electricity, but post-partition, a lot of schemes have been there, as well as road density has also increased. Slowly, we have been able to reduce the threat of Naxalism. From 20, we see that the Naxalite activities have reduced in terms of destruction of economic infrastructure as well as civilians killed. It has drastically reduced. So we are seeing that tribals are actually looking forward to the government as their benefactors, and the government is also filling up the governance vacuum and the security vacuum that was there erstwhile.
So, tell me, in some states, a desperate move is there.
Yes.
That in case any riot takes place,
Yes, sir.
they will hold the DM and SP responsible for it,
Yes, sir.
and practically take punitive action against them.
Yes, sir.
To what extent you think this is the right thing to do? Will it not demoralize the entire administration of that district?
Yes, sir. Sir, I think fixing accountability is of course important, sir, but holding one person or the DMs responsible entirely for the event is perhaps exaggeration, because we see that, sir, these problems are long-standing and are issues of society. Often these problems take time to resolve, sir. So perhaps accountability has to be fixed, but it has to be fixed both on the parts of administration as well as the fringe elements who incite violence, as well as the mobs who are there. Accountability has to be fixed for
That's
all.
okay.
Yes.
But as a matter of rule,
Yes.
to say that DM will be hanged
Yes, sir.
by the nearest pool,
Yes.
or the SP will be hanged by the nearest pool,
Yes.
by an order in another 1 hour of the riot.
Yes.
I don't think that's correct, or that is okay. It's just, it sends a message to the people or something like that.
Sir, I don't think this is the right thing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Vikas, you are already in income tax,
Yes, sir.
and I have seen your debt. Tell me two things about yourself that are not given in the debt.
So one is the fact that I have recently taken an interest in badminton as well, and the second will be, sir, I like watching TV series, the new TV series that comes.
Okay. Okay. This Vivad se Vishwas tak,
Yes, sir.
has it proved successful? Has it been able to, number one, resolve the issue, number two, get the confidence of the taxpayer?
Yes, sir. I think that it has just been introduced in the 2019-20 budget, I think, sir. So it will take time to perhaps improve the conditions, but certainly it has improved compliances from it has resolved some of the outstanding disputes that were there with the taxpayers, and since it gives exemption as far as interests are concerned on the outstanding tax income, sir, perhaps it has improved compliance, but I am not exactly sure about the figures.
Some statistics show that 80% of the direct tax
Yes.
comes from 20% of the taxpayers.
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes.
So why not exempt remaining 80% who are in the tax net as of now?
Yes.
Because they give you only 20%.
Yes, sir.
So why not to do that?
Sir, I think that the endeavor of government is for expanding the tax base, sir, rather than contracting it. With expansion, sir, we will be able to bring more people into the tax bracket who actually are earning well above the tax bracket, sir. So and it will be unfair on the 20% to bear the weight of the entire nation, sir. Perhaps we'll have to improve the tax base, and that is where our endeavors should be, sir.
And another school of thought is that we should completely do away with the income tax. What is your thinking on this?
Sir, I think, sir, I do not agree with this because, sir, one is the fact that income tax are progressive in nature, so they help in redistributing wealth from the rich to the poor. If we look at if we abolish direct taxes, sir, then we'll have to replace it with other forms of taxes which might not be progressive. Such as there has been suggestions about taxing the banking transactions instead of income tax, but that won't be so progressive in nature because income tax slabs go on increasing with increasing incomes. So
Okay. On this freebies
yes,
given by the political parties or announced by them,
yes,
as a taxman, don't you think taxpayers' money is being given in the form of freebies? What is your opinion on freebies
yes,
through taxpayers' money?
yes, sir. In this regard, sir, I believe that there are some schemes which are really desirable, not only by India but entire world. For example, the free education, that is the right to education, as well as National Food Security Act and the health incentive. Because these should not be seen just as freebies, because these are building human capital, and after a while, in the long term, they will give returns to the economy by means of well educated and healthy populace. As Professor Amartya Sen has also said, it will develop human capability. However, sir, some freebies have been really misused, such as the electricity subsidies in Punjab. It has been seen that it has reduced the groundwater levels to drastic levels. Same goes with, sir, the free electricity in some areas, such as our government has recently said that they will roll back. They will give the option for people who can pay to roll back their subsidies, and those who wish to take, they can take. So, sir, perhaps some areas we require because we have a welfare state. We are a welfare state, but some areas we can cut.
Last question I want to ask is, PM gave a mantra for improving the tourism in India through diaspora.
Yes, sir.
So are you aware what suggestion he gave that diaspora can improve Indian economy and tourism?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not
Okay.
aware of the detail.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Vikas, tell me, you are DM of Ranchi,
Yes, sir.
right? And there are 10% of the people are not ready to get vaccinated.
Yes, sir.
So some idea comes to you through someone that, let us vaccinate them forcibly.
Yes,
Can you vaccinate them without permission? Without their consent?
yes. Sir, in my the Supreme Court recently held that the right to vaccination, the ability of governments to vaccinate forcibly should only be done. It should be done in accordance to the proportion of in accordance to the principle of proportionality, sir. The proportion, the kind of danger that is posed, according to them, sir, the vaccination, the mandatory vaccination should be there, sir. If there is less threat, for example, currently, so currently, sir, we cannot coerce them into vaccination, in my opinion.
Okay. Because any subject which we did not cover, and you would like us to ask a question from that uncovered topic or subject? if you wish.
Yes. So perhaps since Chow dance is the marquee cultural feature of my district, sir, Saraikala, and it also has the tag of UNESCO intangible heritage. So I'm really invested in that. I find it interesting. So perhaps that can be one area.
So tell me, how would you use this Chhau dance of Jharkhand or whichever place,
Yes, sir.
as a USP of India
Yes, sir.
to attract foreigners from abroad?
Yes, sir. So in this regard, I would like to propose a circuit, a tourist circuit, and it will be named the tribal circuit, because Jharkhand has, with its cultural, with its diversity of tribal population in Jharkhand, sir, we have got a lot of cultural features which are unique to us. For example, the Chhau dance has been going on since centuries, and it is a culmination of both tribal and Bhagavatic teachings. So it is symbolic of the fact that tribals and non-tribals have coexisted in Jharkhand. Same goes with, sir, tribal paintings such as Sohrai Khobar of Jharkhand, the Jadu Patwa of Jharkhand.
My question is, how would you promote Chhau dance?
Yes, sir. Sir, better. I'm sorry, sir. Better marketing by the government can be done, such as some agencies such as Jharcraft have been there, which are responsible for marketing of tribal artisanal goods as well as cultural items from Jharkhand across India as well as the world, sir. So these agencies can be promoted. Which can promote marketing.
Thank you, Vikas. We'll call you again after some time.
Yes.
You may proceed and wait outside.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.